Hey guys. All
Good
right.
morning.
Good morning, warriors out there.
Yeah.
Hope you rested well. I think I got my core four in, which was good. Yeah.
Who just survives on a core four? She really does. Like, and then wakes up looking. I get like I need like at least six. I prefer the full eight, and I'll still wake up like.
Okay, that really doesn't happen. That was dramatization at its worst. Or maybe at its finest. I don't know. She's looking good. Anyways,
Thank
much
you.
love to you guys this morning. I hope you guys woke up with a lighter heart.
Yes.
And for those of you that woke up with a heavier heart, hopefully we can bring a little sunshine in today as we, across this big old blue globe, go through many challenges and trials and tribulations. But in the middle of, in the midst of some of those things are sweetnesses and kindnesses and random acts of kindnesses, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, perhaps, this, the pandemic and the things that are coming to the forefront are making us a little more compassionate. Like where we might have woken up and done a show, or anybody or doing a show would just be like, "Hey, good morning," like, and not considered the heaviness that others are going through.
See, I love her optimism. I don't see it that way. I see that I see things getting a lot worse before it gets better. There's so much bloodshed, so much heartbreak, so much um there are so many WTFs per minute. I can't
Right?
even
It's like
keep up.
whiplashing us.
Yeah, it's like you can't get over one horrific thing before the next one happens. It's crazy. Um,
And it's
she's drinking coffee
true.
and I'm doing my green smoothie. Ooh, yeah.
It's true. Like, you're right. I do think that more will come to the surface, like, and things will be exposed.
Yeah.
And it will get worse before it gets better. But there's, that awakening that we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
And so there are those that are beginning to see. There are some that like awaken and then go back to sleep. It does happen.
How are you sleeping through this? I don't understand that. Because literally
Fear.
I feel fear makes you sleep.
Yeah. It may, or paralyzed. Maybe they're not asleep. Maybe they're paralyzed.
True story. That's a very true story. I will
Because
concede on the
when you
paralysis.
first awaken, like, because empowerment can come slowly. Empowerment can elude sometimes people. And so you might be awakened and not feeling the empowerment or have the hope, or some of the key things in place for you to create the changes in your own life.
Yeah.
Let alone the outside world.
Right.
So,
and change starts within.
and it starts
sure.
within. Yeah. So it's a process. So we're in process. We're in that beginning stages. But I do agree there'll be more that comes up. There'll be more darkness before.
Yeah.
But I am really hopeful, and I do believe that we'll get there.
Shout out to those who are going through or maybe displaced right now through the Hurricane Laura.
Yeah.
It has created grand devastation throughout Louisiana and parts of Texas. Um, our hearts are with you. Um, if you have a story, if you need to reach out, if there's anything that we can possibly do within our sphere, please reach out to us, to Two Girls and a P.
Two Girls and a P.
And we'll see what we can do.
And speaking of caring, how is your heart this morning?
You know, my heart is dented. Just really not devastated, but just hurting from a relationship that I was quite vested in. Um, I think, though, as I was telling you yesterday, I think what hurts the most is the friendship that I gave and the protection that I wanted for this person. To be their queen and to share a life. And when that is just tossed away, I think in the most brutal fashion, it leaves you feeling just really shook. Just like, my gosh, is my friendship not good enough? Am I not good enough? As a queen, I get it professionally. Personally, we're all a little like, are we quirky? What the freak? What's happening? But yeah, you just feel so. There's an amount of sadness, because the friendship. I just thought, if nothing more, friendship was going to be withstanding, and I guess it never was from the beginning. As I'm learning more and more, and as I heal. So,
Well,
yeah.
it reminds me of the poem that I shared with you last night.
Oh,
Again,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
when you're talking about that you wanted to be the queen, right? Like, and I know her so well, and I know how she treats others, like a queen. It's true.
I've never been accused of being nice. Don't tell
Okay.
anybody. I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not kidding.
But so I'm just gonna read a little part of it. I pulled it up on my phone. See, I was actually paying attention. Let's see, where's the part that I want? It would help if I had my glasses on.
She needs glasses.
I do. I had perfect eyes until I was 42. Okay. I'm going to read the last two paragraphs. It's called Get Off My Lawn, and I'll go back afterwards and say
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn, and I'll go back afterwards and say who wrote it. A friend sent it to me yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's just spot on. I require a significant amount of time, attention, passion, cherishing, prioritizing, because that's how a goddess loves and is loved, right? It's the both of that.
Mm-hmm.
So hear me again, bro. I can't say that right.
It's bruh.
It's bruh.
It's bruh.
It's obviously something I don't say. It's bruh. I am not your vacation spot. No, nope, zip, zilch, not even a little. I'm a goddamn family estate, palatial palazzo, a place one chooses as a forever home. Get off my lawn.
There it is.
A forever home.
I'm a forever home.
Yeah.
I am a freaking
so don't treat me
estate.
less.
Yeah. And and that's kind of how I feel.
And that was by Melissa B. Hawks. Get Off My Lawn.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like Melissa B. Hawks.
Shout out to Melissa. We don't know who you are, but awesome poem.
Yes, very, very. Get off my lawn.
And I think too, what I'm hearing is, you're in this relationship, and I think most of us have experienced this, and you think you really know someone, and it could be a friendship,
yeah,
a love relationship,
mm-hmm.
just anything, and then they do something
mm-hmm.
that is feels like such a betrayal and such a shock.
Sure.
But and it kind of sends you reeling. It's like my other friend back east who had a 30-year friendship, and this friend is super generous, because, and I can say that because I know how they treat me,
right, and
I see how they treat others. They really have that gift of giving and generosity, and had taken this friend on vacations to Hawaii and things like this. And then found out that this person had been stealing, coming into their home, stealing from their safe, stealing jewelry, and had to change all of their locks. A 30-year friendship.
That's just egregious.
It devastated me.
And karma's a bitch.
That's true. But we have that. Is it our blind side? How is this happening to us, right? Like, how does that happen to us when we are with someone for 2 years? It's a decent amount of time to know somebody, right?
But I always think that there are signs. Not to say that
Agree. There are signs.
There's that one is so gullible or anything. But when you're good at heart, you would not, and especially if it's not something that you would do.
You don't.
You don't go you don't go there. You don't go to that dark place thinking that, if earrings come up missing or something is amiss, you don't go to the person that you love and call friend like, "Did you do that?"
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. So right.
so maybe
Your
I would do
mind
that,
wouldn't.
but
Your mind wouldn't go there, right? Like
but
I
no.
agree. I think you hit on something. If, especially if it's something that you wouldn't do. It was like the opposite of what she would do because
Mhm.
she's super generous and giving.
Yeah. And like we said yesterday, if said friend would have even just said, "Hey, you know, would you mind if I wore these earrings?" The woman probably would have
Oh,
given
hands
her
down, she would have given
given
them
her
to
the
her.
earrings or something. But to find out that someone's actually stealing from you, it goes beyond materialistic things. It goes to
Yeah.
heart. And I can only imagine how how broken her heart is. So,
Maybe we call this episode Betrayal. I would love to,
mm,
for those that are going through betrayal, have gone through betrayal. I went through a horrendous betrayal
yeah,
in
and
my separation,
and there's
and that leaves such a scar.
well, for me, betrayal, people usually find it in the words of, physicalities. And for me, it's not. For me, it's a emotional betrayal.
Okay, what
When
do you
I,
mean in the.
well, you and I, we have many stories
Yeah.
between us that are just between us.
Yes.
And for me, if you were to speak,
Yeah. That's a betrayal.
to someone else about what I've told you,
Yeah.
um,
That's a betrayal.
that's high betrayal for me.
Agreed.
I don't want, and especially in my personal relationships with, someone that I'm intimate with, I do not want those pieces shared at all. I mean, even if it comes down to a health issue or
Right.
something, that's my story to tell, not yours. And it just leaves me wide open and it makes me feel that we're not friends. And I believe that friendship is an amazing foundation for any great love affair.
Agreed.
So that for me is the kicker in, getting involved with someone. Will they be loyal? Are they trustworthy? Will they hold, your stories, your pain, your experiences in their box? Because I sorely do. My Pandora box is filled with some of the most hurtful and embarrassing moments that my friends and lovers have told me, and they will never come to surface because, how does that make me look?
Right.
And when I look in the mirror, I'm like, wow, can you not keep your mouth shut? What is wrong with you? So for me, um, being a Pandora box for people that tell me things and keeping it on, lockdown, it makes me feel good that I am not betraying them. But I expect the same for me. You're hard pressed to get anything much out of me. But when you do, I want to
Right.
understand that it's safe,
Yeah.
and that it's not,
Right. So that's a high betrayal for you,
mm-hmm.
which I know that for her. I'll tell a story. And it's an okay one, the hospital story. Couldn't even get your age. That's an okay story, right?
I guess. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
It's kind of funny.
It's
kind
kind
of
funny.
stupid, but
It's
it's
kind of
kind of
stupid. We were together and we were doing our Panera thing and we were having such a good day, and then we ended up needing to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
It was all right. It's no big deal. But they when you go there, they want information, and I'm with her, and they were asking for her birth date. And we had been friends like 2 years at this point, maybe. And she wouldn't even tell them her birth date in front of me. I had to leave the room. Talk about Pandora box of secrets.
Room. Leave the room.
I finally found out, this year.
Yeah.
It's 5 years later.
Okay, all right. I'm
Okay,
a little crazy on the info give out. I'm learning to let go a little bit, but
It took that long for deeper trust. That's okay. I don't know. Everybody's different, and especially if you have betrayal in your history.
Yeah, for sure,
Right?
for sure. Well, I know actually it's
'Cause-
it's a cultural thing.
But
you
I'm
know,
also more cautious now that I've had deep betrayal.
yeah,
Right? And I see the red flags. Like that, those are our lessons that teach us what red flags to look for,
well,
too.
again, when you are raised in that type of environment culturally, you know, we were not a family that told of things. When someone was at hospital, you didn't go run your mouth to your friends and tell that your mom was sick or that your dad was dying or these things.
Right.
When there
Nowadays, that's all over Facebook, right?
Oh, like, people get on a platform, Dr. Phil or whatever, and they tell, you know, it when they have ovarian cancer or when women are having hysterectomies. Well, that was a big no-no. And, you know, in our family, we don't speak about those things, you know, in the confines of the family, okay, but you just didn't speak. And then I think, you know, when I was raising my children, you know, that served me well because, you know, if I was going to be gone for 12 hours out of the day,
right.
and when they got home from school, you know, you put those safeguards in place, you know. One was older to watch the other, but still, it's like if someone calls the house for me, you know, you tell them I'm in the shower or whatever the case may be, but you never let anyone know that you're in this house by yourself.
Exactly.
And if you can't handle that, then don't pick up the phone. You know, and then, you know, you have the safe words when you drop them off at school and all of these things. So all of that, you know, ended up serving me well, you know, while raising, you know, my babies. But, you know, as you transcend, you know, and you know, transition into, you know, now you're out there, you know, making friends, shaking hands, you know, and you have intimate relationships. They, you know, everyone wants to always know more. And I think you can get more out of me. It's just over time. It's time. I'm not going to sit in one sitting and just and tell you every bloody thing that happened in my life. I find it
and I think that's so good. And you know,
messy.
If anything, it's like in that, like that vomiting of information, like because tend to be an overshare, so I've had to learn the you know, to pull back and to allow, as Yvette like taught me, to be a little mysterious. Light. Oh, we got light. Oh, look at that. A little morning glow. It's not the sun. but you know, to be to hold back a little and to allow there to be the buildup of trust.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Don't be just so trusting and give it all away.
Yeah.
You know.
That's true.
Up front, but allow the trust to be built.
I think so, because
trust is earned.
If you wait, then you can possibly save yourself from some heartache. You know, because you'll understand that this person is not trustworthy, especially if they're gossiping about everything and everybody and coming to you and so you understand quite quickly. Yeah. You might not want to tell your business to that person.
Yeah. And I think, you know, we can, you know, authenticity is talked a lot about these days. We can mistake oversharing for authenticity. Yeah. Not the same.
For sure.
Or telling everything really for authenticity. That's really not the same.
No. My authentic self is to keep my mouth shut.
Your authentic self is how you show up. It's not how much you tell.
It's true. Absolutely.
You know, being in alignment with who you really are inside.
Instead of using my voice for gossip, I will use it for a platform for, you know, the egregious things that these eyes witness on the daily, for what these ears hear, you know, with every moment, you know. And I just think that that's an important thing to do. There is no time for gossip. There is time for, you know, the good fight, you know, and to get into a whole lot of good trouble. I think that's very imperative.
That just brought tears to my eyes. This is why I love you. And this is why we are friends. Because we, you know, as we are similar and we are different.
Very.
But in that, our hearts are the same.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
It's true.
I'm so proud to call her my friend. I'm like, oh.
I'm proud.
Because we do. You know, we really want to give love to this world and see change in the best of ways.
She's more kumbaya. I'm like, let's just knock the freaking wall down.
Let's get in a circle,
and let's
secret
do this.
And let's send our love out to this world. And that's me. That is me all day long. And she is like, let's move and shake the planet. And so it's
Pop, 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 pop.
it's divine
Yeah.
that brought us together.
I agree.
It really.
I agree.
Yeah.
We should talk a little bit about going live on Sunday brunch. She's crying. Lord have mercy. Someone give me a Kleenex and a Hallmark card. This chick cries, and I love her. It's just these green eyes just absolutely water up, and she is just Mother Earth, and she's like, bring me, you're tired, you're weak, you're weary, oh, and it's just like,
I would love on them and beat them all.
It's true. Meanwhile, I'll be like,
not that one.
Not that one. That one looks a little shady. But, okay, Sunday brunch. Sunday brunch live on IG on my Trinity Films Productions Instagram. We will be there.
Yes, join us.
We are going to cook a little bit. Maybe we should, we've asked, for some suggestions of what they want to see. Maybe we make this cool ass, it's still kind of hot though. I was going to say it'd be kind of cool to make a, from scratch, like a chicken noodle soup or a hearty chili. Child? No, but I know what I'm doing.
I'm just kidding.
She knows what she's doing. She had 4 boys. Don't let her fool you.
I make chicken soup all the time.
So we could do this.
We could.
But that's just one suggestion. Mm-hmm. Or we can, we did steaks last week.
Okay. This is what I think. Instead of opening it up to the world, because we are not Julia Child and Paula Deen.
She did not call me Paula Deen. Arrest her soul. But Paula Deen.
Those are the names that come to mind as far as good. Okay, Emerald. As far as bam. Instead of asking them for a menu, maybe we offer like 2 and they get to vote, because I'm afraid of the things that they'll suggest that I can't cook.
Wow, Jude. Rise to the occasion. If they ask for tomato bisque with fresh croutons, we got this.
Homemade croutons.
We will chop up French bread, season it with olive oil and basil and garlic, and we would throw it in the oven at 350. Those babies would crisp up, and then we would put it on the tomato basil soup. Yes. I mean, we got this. We do.
I could do that.
What?
For sure. She's right. We got it. Okay, send your stuff.
We pushed babies out of our woo-ha.
She is always going back to that. Like, we did that, we can do anything. And I'm starting to believe her.
It's true. It's true. It was all natural. No meds, okay? They just...
Maybe that's why I have a hard time believing, because I had forced cesarean sections.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But it was what was needed, so...
Yeah, that is true.
And I have healthy children.
I pushed.
Stop bragging.
Okay.
Either way, we are magical portals, which these human beings came into this world through.
It is true.
Cheers.
It is true.
All mothers, cheers.
Oh, it's true.
So,
every time I do that, I always think about the 80s.
That's right. Uma Thurman, shout out.
Oh, yeah, Uma. That's my girl.
Because that was like, Uma. I mean, how iconic of her, right? When she did that.
Yeah, this is true. Okay. So Sunday brunch. At 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Pacific Coast time, baby. Yeah. Okay. 1 p.m. East Coast time. Okay.
Yes.
And I don't know, just go out there and just shine your light, you guys, today. Be a beacon of hope. Whatever you have to say, tell it. Tell your story. If you see something, the best thing we've got these days is this.
Yeah.
This is our best weapon to capture everyone on film doing random acts of kindness.
Yes.
And definitely doing, deviant things that will further, divide us as a nation and as the world. So use your voice, use your platform. Do not lead in fear. Step in faith, less in sight. And I think the world will just get just a little bit better.
Yeah, make it a little bit brighter. Let's illuminate the shit out of this place.
That's what I'm talking about. I am now finished with my green smoothie. Yeah. And I guess it's time to wrap it up. Yes. For more information about Two Girls and a Pea, you can go to my YvetteArujo.com. and you can see all my bodies of work. And
Transcendent Touch.
they didn't hear you.
Transcendent Touch on Facebook, transcendenttouchmt.com on the web.
There it is. There it is. So YvetteArujo.com, so you can see more of me in my glory.
Yes.
Or, being silly. Or Transcendent Touch.
Yeah, on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Insta.
Or on Insta. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
All
Love
right.
you.
All right. Have a good one.
Go shine.
Ciao.